Sport Fishing on the Fly is brought to you by Maui Jim Sunglasses. First Tellurium Corp., the future of mining. And Hardy Rods and Reels.
Hey folks, welcome back to On the Bench at Sport Fishing on the Fly. Today I'm going to tie you up an bleeding olive dun chironomid. It's a bug I was using last year that I did really well with at several lakes. I wanted to share with you. Make sure you have these materials handy before you tie the fly. For hook, I'm using a size 16 curved caddis hook by Togans, curved nymph hook. For bead, I'm using a 5/64. It's a magic brown bead, tungsten. For the gill, I'm using flat braid by Semperfli in cream, or you could use the pearl color. I ran out of the pearl, that's why I'm using the cream today. So for threads, I'm using 4 threads, but you don't have to use 4, as I'll say in the video. So I'm starting out with 18-aught in black, and then I'll be switching to 18-aught in red, classic waxed by Semperfli. And then for the body color, I'm using it's the olive dun, this color, by Semperfli, and that's in 12-0, or you could use 8-0. And then for the collar, I'm going to be using the rust color, and this is also in 12-0. For the rib, I'm using fine brown wire. So I've already gone ahead and placed my bead on the hook, and I've got the wide end of the bead facing forward, so I'm able to slip it over to my gill easier. I'm just going to start my 18-aught black on the front of the hook. I've been using this flat braid for the gill starting this season. I used a very similar material, the microglint, last year, and this year too for some of my chironomids. I really like it. And the flat braid has the similar kind of like a coating on it, so I don't think it's going to color up in a algae lake. If you're at an algae lake in the summertime, sometimes your gills can go green with certain materials. I just made a couple of wraps there on top, and I'm just going to snip it off nice and close there. And then I'm just going to bring it just in front of the flat braid and make a few wraps right here, just to keep it from covering the hook eye too much. And then you can take and whip finish off your black thread, like so. So drop my scissors. And now you can just slide your bead forward, and then I like to cut it just sort of even with the front of the hook, so, like so. Now you can take your red thread, and I've done this fly just with plain olive and no red butt, and it works good too. But I kind of like this red butt. I had a good success with this last year, as I was saying. A couple of lakes, Tunqua was one of them, where this fly was on fire all day. Just take your red all the way down. As I'm getting down here, you can give it a little spin to flatten it out counterclockwise. It's 18-aught, so I mean it's already really, really thin, but you don't really need to do that with this particular thread. As I get down here, I want to make sure I'm not missing any spaces though. And I'm going to go all the way around the bend with my red. Going, keep going. A few more turns, like so. Snip off my tag end. Now I'm just going to give my thread a little counterclockwise spin again. And then you just want to bring it back up all the way. Like so. And whip finish off your red thread. Next, I'm going to take my main body color, which is the olive dun. So like any dark olive, medium olive thread would do. Let's get it started. I'm just going to take it to the front. Oh, hang on. I've got my thread around my bobbin. There was something going on there. Fix that. Okay. Right to the front, and now I'm going to get my ribbing materials. I'm using the brown wire. Red wire also works good with this fly, or gold. Even silver, I imagine. just going to place a wire just on the side here, or right on the top actually. And I'll just start bringing it down. As I get down to the hook point here, now I'm going to give my thread a little counterclockwise spin and flatten this out, the 12-aught. 8-aught would probably be a lot better for this size fly, but I didn't have this particular color in 8-0. I'm not going to go quite to the back. I want to leave myself that little butt. I am going to take one wrap in behind the wire. I'm just going to flatten it out a little bit more. And now I'm just going to bring it back up. And I'm trying intentionally to miss a few spaces there at the back, just sort of so it bleeds into the red bleeds into the olive. Cover that back up. And I'm going to start working my taper, so I'm just going to work my thread back about 2 bead lengths, and then forward. And I'm going to move it back about 1 bead length, and then forward. And now you can finish off your olive thread. And you could leave the collar olive and just do it that way too. I like the little rust color of the thorax. Just attach my rest and put a little whip finish in there. Now you can take your wire and just begin winding it up the hook. Nice even spaces. Right around 7 or 8. I'm just going to tie that off. You just wind your bobbin up. Just hold it up against your fly and then twist that wire free. So, and I'm going to go right into my whip finish. I'm just going to take and flatten my thread out slightly, and then do one more whip finish over that. So, snip away your thread. Next, take your UV resin of choice. I'm using the Braid Zap, the new super thin. I really like this one. It's the best one I've ever used personally. It never fogs up, it never chips off. It's been really good so far. Let's give that a little coat. I'm going to come back after and apply a second coat to it. For the video, I'll just show you one coat. Okay. And that's it, my olive done, my red butt olive done, Chironomid. So happy Stillwater season, everyone. I can't wait to get out there myself, going out this morning. Thanks for joining me on this edition of On the Bench. Take care, everyone. Conserve the waters and tight lines.